In this video, I'll show you how to assemble your mini train. So the first thing we want to do in Fusion is we want to create a new design, and we want this to be an assembly design, and hit create new. That's going to change the workspace up here. You can kind of see the tools are a little bit different. Now we want to start bringing in the parts of our train. So to do that, we're going to open up our data panel. And if you don't have your data panel open, you can open it by clicking on this icon here in the front corner. And what you want to do is grab the first piece of the train that you want to kind of be the base of your assembly. It makes a lot of sense to choose your train body for this. So click and drag this into the design space here. Fusion will let you move it around and rotate it. So make sure you situate it with the way you want your views to be. I kind of like that this is my front, so I'm just going to click OK. Next, bring in another piece or two that you want to start assembling. So I'm going to bring in my stack. I'm going to pull that in, and it might appear inside part of your train or inside all of your train. I like to just kind of move it close to where it's going to go by clicking on this dot right here and dragging that up and clicking OK. Again, if it's upside down or backwards, you can flip it with these angles, but that really isn't necessary after we add the joints. So now we want to put this stack into that hole of the train. We're going to go to relationships and choose joint. If you look here, the shortcut key for joint is J. That's really a time saver, so I'm going to use that as we keep going. But now when you click joint, you need to click on the first component that you want to use. So I'm actually going to rotate my view so I can see the bottom of the stack, and I'm going to hold my mouse over the bottom of the stack. Fusion comes up with a whole bunch of suggested joint points that we can use. But basically, I want this middle point right here. And now I'm going to rotate my view down here and look at my train. I'm going to go to my hole here, and you can see there's a lot of snap points here. I'm going to hold down Control to keep my selection locked on this hole. But now I can easily pick which snap joint I want. I'm going to pick the bottom of the hole right here, and I'm going to click there. And now you can see that my stack has gone into the hole and it's attached. We can click OK, and you can check to see that that's actually in there and stuck in there by clicking on it, and you won't be able to move it. Here's the icon for the joint. So if we ever need to go back and change it or delete it, we can either click on it and right click to delete it, or we can edit it here. It also shows up in my timeline down here. Next, let's add an axle peg to this train. So I'm going to drag that in. Again, it might show up inside your train a little bit. I like to kind of rotate that and put it sort of where it's going to go in the finished assembly. So it's going to be somewhere like this down here. Now for this part here, there's a bunch of different ways you can joint this, but essentially we want enough room for our wheel to be on this axle, which means we need this to be 1/4 of an inch outside of our train. So I'm going to click joint again. And this time I'm going to pick the top or the outside of my threaded hole, simply because I just don't want to do a lot of math to figure out how far in this axle peg should go. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to rotate my view around, and I'm going to pick this part here I'm going to put my mouse on this face here of my axle peg, and I'm going to put my mouse on the center snap point. So that's going to put the axle peg inside the train all the way. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this arrow here and pull it out 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to type 0.25 for that offset. I'm going to click OK. So that basically leaves enough room for my wheel to go on that axle peg. So now I'm going to go to my data panel and grab a wheel. And for this wheel, again, I'm just going to kind of pull it out here so I can see what I'm doing. And I want the front edge of this hole to line up with the back edge of this axle peg. So I'm going to click joint. I'm going to click this snap point. I'm going to rotate, and I'm going to pick here and that middle snap point. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more, click that middle snap point like this. Now this joint here, I want this wheel to actually turn. So I'm going to go to motion and choose revolute. And then we click OK, and you can see that our wheel spins. So we can click OK. You can actually test to see if this works by grabbing the wheel and spinning it. You can quickly see if a joint is revolute or rigid based on its icon. A rigid joint, again, has like this square icon. A revolute joint has the flag icon with the angle. So the rest of the train is going to be assembled using this method. If a joint needs to turn, make sure it's set on revolute. If a joint just needs to be fixed or solid, change it to rigid. When you're all done jointing your train or assembling your train, highlight the whole thing, go to inspect, choose interference. You can click revert or capture the position. It does not matter. And then you're going to click this button, compute. And it's going to check for interference or places where two bodies are interfering or touching, not touching, but inside each other. If you did this right, you're just going to get some interference between your train body and your axle peg because there's naturally going to be interference between threaded parts. But every other part should have no interference. So when you're all done, you should only have a little bit of interference between the axle peg and the train body. Everything else should have no interference. And that's how we can assemble our mini train.